Welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. It is on and popping, y'all. Yeah, still getting adjusted to the new spot. Soon I'm gonna have to order my signs. I'm gonna get some different signs, get some mindset matters signs up in here. uh, Really excited, really excited. This should be a really great thing. Having this mental space, I'm gonna really put in a lot of effort in the next 2 days. Pop's been here, so to be 100, I've been a little bit relaxed in all of the production simply because I'm being present with my father being here. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, y'all. That's incredibly important. Is the presence, the present, and your presence. um, I was just thinking about this morning. There's only so much. There's only so much present power that you have. You have a finite supply, and from what I can perceive, is it's a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to build, right? The present power that you have is not inexhaustible. You have to continuously work it. And that's that's just what I wanted to talk about today is, what the heck is present power, and how do we use it effectively or efficiently, right? Because we always say be present, be in the moment, right? For some reason that's difficult to do, to be present with people, because we have so many different diverting thoughts. We got, what we got to do for work. We got, if we got kids, we got kids on our mind. If we don't have kids, we have school goals, obligations that we have on our brains. We got social media that's in our minds, what's going on with other people, what new updates are coming out, what new phones coming out, all of this stuff, what new movies coming out, what books are out there, what task you got to get done for the day. You got to wash clothes. Like, there's so much on your brain. There's so much on your brain that it is a challenge to be present. And now, why is it a challenge to be present? It's a challenge to be present simply because we we love to we love to be entertained. That's one thing. We love to be entertained. With that love of entertainment, it causes us to, well, not the entertainment itself, but we cause ourselves to divert our attention a lot. And with presence, with presence, your attention also is placed in that presence, right? Which that is true power, because that's what everybody wants, right? That's what the phone wants. That's what the phone companies want. That's what the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, that's what they want. They want your attention. So that's where the power is. And then being present in that, placing your attention in whatever you're doing, heightens everything in that moment. And so that's what I've been kind of going through, because I'm like, well, when you do that and you're not used to doing it at extended periods of time, you will notice you will be way more tired. You will be way more tired when you first initiate these processes of like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna really focus in on my kids. If you do that, which I've noticed before, when I'm really present with my son, he exhausts me. Why? Because he extracts some of that energy, some of that attention from me, right? In that process, if you continue to do it and you do it consistently, and and you make like a regimen out of it, you actually get better over time, and you are able to be more present for a longer time with that child if you consistently build upon it, right? But if it's very sporadic, it's always going to be this feeling of this tug of this energy that is coming out of you. you want to try and manage that as efficiently as possible. So, especially with this, with building a business and doing all of this stuff and I'm moving, and then people show up from out of town and all of that, that all diverts your present power and attention. And you have to make executive decisions, which is what I'm talking about with this. It's like there are things that have high importance, and then there are things that need to be balanced, and then there are things that need to be efficient, right? And so with certain things that can be by the wayside, it's always gonna be in order of importance. So, case in point, right? My pops is in town. My attention, most of my attention is diverted towards, okay, what what's popping with pops? What does he want to do? Should we do something? Where should we go? Should I plan? Should I sporadically throw something out there? That type of stuff. Those thoughts are on my mind initially before anything else, and here's why. And I've accepted that. I've purposefully made myself okay with that, even though there's a lot of other things to do. Here's why. Because my thing with the balance of all things, if and I was mentioning this on my story at the beginning of today. If you look at my Instagram, you look at my stories, this is what I'm talking about. I could choose to be, "Oh, yeah, okay, let me, oh, I got a lot of work to do, Pop. Let me do the," and it's like, no, because he showed up. For one, the presence is in this, and this is why it was difficult for me to think back at the other spot, because I wasn't solo to have my own solo thoughts. So this kind of will explain what I mean and why I decided to move out, because what happens is, h- h- with him being here and me deciding, okay, look, this is only for a short amount of time, right? There's going to be 3 days to where I can be in the same vicinity, present with this individual, right? With my pops. And so, n- with that, because I believe human to human interaction is so incredibly important, most of my thought processes that I'm going to select are going to be geared around him being here, right? And so that's what I'm saying. When you live with other people, when I was living with my ex, I'm living with moms, I'm living with the kids. This is very close proximity. My thought processes were scattered about, and that makes it difficult to be present. That makes it difficult to really tune in. You will be so task oriented. Oh, well, I gotta take my son to school. Oh, I gotta make sure he did his homework. Oh, I gotta make sure that he's reading, because he needs to read every day. There's so much different stuff that goes through your head. It is incredibly difficult to be present. It's incredibly difficult because your mind is in task oriented solution mode. Like, let's solve all of these issues. And by the time you're done with that, you will be exhausted. Your mind will be exhausted because it's stretching itself in a very logical, task oriented um direction. And that will overload you. That does load you up, right? But also, on the other hand of that, even if you decide, okay, hey, I'm gonna meditate for a while, I'm gonna be very present, I'm gonna listen and be very attentive to the people that or one person that is presented to me today, and you decide to dive all the way into that, that also will exhaust you if you're not used to it, because being present it's like a skill. It's that you are able to build. It's part of the mastery, right? And that's something that's in my book, that you are a master and you master everything. Even with you not trying, your brain is in a mastery solution oriented mode. It's trying to master whatever you're jumping into, because it wants to make room for more processes, and make whatever task that you're presenting it with very so easy that it doesn't even feel like you're doing anything. such as walking, such as blinking, and these gestures that I'm doing, I'm not thinking about them. I'm working in harmony with my body and it's happening almost autonomously, right? So what I'm saying is that you want to make some really executive decisions when it comes to your present power. Now, if you're working on this is the dedicated focus that I want to stretch this present power as much as possible, then your job will be to literally be in the moments all the time. And you don't have to do no physical work. You're going to be exhausted at the end of the day because we haven't tapped into that space yet as people, as human beings. We have not tapped into that space yet, y'all, to be super hyper present. They did in the past, though. If you think about it, that's why the biblical stuff is so historically accurate because they were in a totally different mind space, right? We look at these pyramids, we look at this stuff, and we say, "What? That's impossible." How? Because they were able to be hyper present in the moment of things. That is what is really, really key in this life, y'all. It's incredibly key because when you do that, things happen. Again, like I said, I was talking to somebody the other day. I was talking to Pratch actually, and some things happened, and I'm like, that always happens. That always happens when I get into an engaged, high frequency, high vibrational conversation. Something occurs, and it's like, whoa, that was weird. And it's like, nope, it's happened so many times that I know now. I know now that isn't coincidence. There's something that we can do. There's a human connection that happens when people interact. This is why, and I hope some of y'all catch this in the institute. This is why I say the Saturday call is so important, y'all. It's so important. It seems like a very basic thing, but it's that Mr. Miyagi all over again. When we collectively get together, that's why it even says that in the Bible, do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together, right? When we get together and we share ideas and we share high vibrational information and we're on the same frequency and we're all tuned in, excited, laughing, having sharing joy, love, peace, kindness with each other, that is going to you won't even see how it's going to improve your life. But I know now that is a universal genetic code of life, y'all. That when people get together and they have a great time, things happen. Positive, great, forward, progressive things happen. That's what so to circle it all the way back, that's why I'm taking priority of being present with my father because the human to human interaction is way more important than anything else. Anything else, y'all. The brain connections that are made are incredibly important and people take it for granted all the time. And I'm not trying to say nothing, but this is why I'm like, y'all, we need to get together, even if for just 20 minutes, we talk to each other, we share ideas, we talk about maybe things, and we upbuild each other. It's incredibly important, y'all. That's probably one of the most important things. Actually, I mean, the entire program is super important because it's heightening everything that we have in here. But at the same time, that Saturday call, y'all, you gotta try and be on it. And we have to continue to try and hold ourselves accountable to be on it because that's when the magic happens. I have seen it. I have seen it multiple, multiple times to where I know that is a thing. So I will, when people reach out to me, I divert my presence, my attention all into that individual because I know how important it is. It's super incredibly important, y'all. And as far as the tangible actual effects, that is relative to maybe what's going on in your life. But do I know that it will be a positive, progressive thing that happens when this is key, when there is upbuilding conversation, when there's encouragement involved, that's when things go into a progressive state. If y'all gossiping about stupid stuff, and you mad about dumb stuff, and you talking about, oh, how everything's bad all the time, then that's going to create the opposite effect. And this is what people don't understand, and this is why, again, a whole nother biblical thing, I'm telling you, man, that the Bible, man, this a whole nother, that's why they say don't be gossiping. That it literally says that, don't be gossiping, because what we have, this thing up here, is so incredibly tuned up that when we connect it with another person, if we decide to go in a negative or if we decide to go in a positive, there are ramifications, there are effects that will be felt just through conversation alone. Just through conversation alone. You have to understand how incredibly important this is, y'all. I'm diving in, man. This is so subatomic. It's so easy to be like, oh, you know what? Saturday call, whatever, dude. Like, it's fine. Forget it. It's so easy to do that. I get it, man. But I'm trying to help y'all to understand that if you don't, and you decide to push past that thought, and you say, you know what? I'm going to show up for these people. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to show up for these people. That is going to change your life drastically. Just that. It seems like that's what some of these, like Abraham Hicks and other people, that's what they mean by it ain't really about the work. It ain't about physical, oh, build here, this, type, oh, post. It ain't really about that. It's about your present power, your present energy. That's what it's really about. And that's what they understood long ago, which gave them the capabilities that they had. Now, first and foremost, obviously, God, the creator, allowed us to tap into that power. But I'm telling you that he gave us a measure of power 1000%. You have to understand that, because how else is all of this stuff constructed? How else is all this stuff created? Through thoughts, which is power, made in the likeness and image. That is power. You're able to create a child. That is power. You're able to create an electronic phone. The talking through what is it connected to? Who are you talking to? How are you talking? How are you talking on the phone? Have you ever really thought about that? What? Hello? And you're talking into this thing and it's working and you can hear the other person? Do you really understand how serious that is? How powerful that really is? And we did that. We did that, y'all. God didn't say, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get y'all phones. No, no, we did that. That's powerful. You're capable of doing that. If another person created it, you're capable of doing that. You could create your own cell phone. You know that. If you don't, you should. You should know that you're capable of that because another human being did it. You got being present is incredibly important, y'all. Okay? So sometimes, yes, it will in this grand scheme of whatever it is, the digital marketplace, it may seem it's is not as um I don't know, not consistent, but not as the amount of it, right? It's like, oh, 10 posts a day, 20 posts a day, whatever the case may be. And it's like, dude, that's not the most important though. On the priority list for me, the most important thing is whenever I get around people like Chris, what up, Chris? If Chris came out here and Chris was like, hey, Kev, I'm in town, I'm there. I'm like, oh, guess what? Okay, yeah, we need to connect. We need to connect. We need to do something because we're connected right now just digitally. But once we get it, and that again, that's part of what this agenda is. Whoever is trying to separate the people, that's what they know. Whoever that may be, they know that's incredibly important, and it's incredibly powerful when people get together and have conversations. It's ridiculously powerful. So, if knowing that and you're trying to keep control of everything, you would want to break that up. But again, and I'm not this isn't, I want to be very clear. This isn't an excuse. This is this is a balancing act for me. This is a diversion, a delegation of my energy where I feel it is the most potent, where it is the most effective, right? And again, if Pops is only gonna show up for 3 days out of the year, and a year has 365 days, and I only see him for 3 days, of course, I'm all my presence and all of my present moment power is gonna be locked in, because it's only 3 days. So, yeah, I will pause this, I will pause that, I will pause this, simply because that's high priority. That's high priority. If you count how many more instances, if we're gonna do it by years and it's once a year, how many more instances do you think you have? Again, I'm talking to Pratch. Pratch helped me to realize that. She was like, "Dude, you know what? Sometimes I be thinking like people don't really think about how somebody can be gone." That was the gist of it. How somebody could just be gone the next day. I was like, "Okay, wait a minute." I was thinking about that. I kinda knew that. But now it just hit me on a completely different level because I must have been ready for that level of it, that subatomic deep level of it. I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's true. So let me start reaching out. Let me start sending some messages because that's important. This live every day like it's your last. It's like that's really hard to do. That's really hard to do because what is it? What is it about? It's about this topic. When people say live every day like it's your last, they're talking about your present power, to be present, to be super extra present every single moment. That's living every day like it's your last day. That's really hard to do, y'all. And that takes consistent effort. And it's going to exhaust you like crazy because your brain is not used to doing that because we're so diverted with all of these different things and electronics and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is important. This is very important. So yeah, Chris, me and you have talked a few times, dude. Try to try to get past the stupid stuff that's going on, which me and you know what's up with that. And just try to be present with the kids, be present with what you doing or what you're building, and being really present in it, man. This just hit me this morning. I was like, this is okay. This is a different thought process. This is much, much different than I've ever thought before. So I need to really, really hold on to that information. Really, really make sure I lock that information in. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yep. I don't I don't want to have zero regrets. Zero. I want to have zero regrets at the end of the day and be like, yep, I was putting everything into everything. I was putting my all into all of that, all of it, right? And if you do that, you'll say it was a life well lived, I'm telling you, right? And so that's what I just wanted to highlight, y'all, is are you trying to extend that? Are you trying to extend that present power? Are you trying to build that presence muscle of really tuning into the moment, tuning into the person that you're talking to, and not them talking and then all of a sudden you got to get on your phone. I've done it, and I've done it. I'm bringing awareness to it, right? I've done it. I'm not condemning anybody, right? I've done it to where I'm like, oh man, I got to do this real quick. And it's like, you don't have to anything. That interaction is extremely important because that is what matters. That's what matters. That's the heightened power right there, you know? So really, really think about this, y'all. Really think about this topic, man. I'm dead serious with this. It's very interesting with our lives and social media and introverts, extroverts, just everything collectively is incredibly interesting, and it's very important that we pay attention to the seemingly everyday run-of-the-mill normal stuff. It's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than what we think. And again, the people interacting and being in close proximity and giving upbuilding information is important. It is important. So anyway, I mean, open enrollment for the Mindset Matters Institute is next week. Definitely want to highlight that, uh, because this is what we're building. We're building a community of individuals who are on this type of stuff. And I know it's we gonna find needles in haystacks all the time. However, I'm willing to make that, to pioneer that. I'm willing to go through whatever I got to go through to find that, because that's how we're going to change the world. I need high level, high vibrational, high frequency individuals. That's why I said I'm only looking for legends, because there's only going to be a particular amount of people who are going to be like, you know what? I think dude crazy enough to actually institute a change. That's why it's called the Institute, because I'm instituting a new way of living, a new way of thinking, a new idea of how life is supposed to go. You should be compensated for you, for who you are. That is literally the original design. That is what God did. He said, yo, I'm going to take care of you because you're you. He didn't say, Adam, you know what? I'm going to put you down here and I need you to work. In a way, he did, but it was part of what needed to be done. You need to take care of the earth. You need to take care of these animals, right? That's status quo. But as far as the gifts and talents that he may have been able to come out with, that we didn't get to see because of what all happened, but we saw it in others. We saw how those gifts and talents came out in other people, right? And there's a bunch of books and examples of those people, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's not about, oh, I need to, and it's cool if you want to build the skill of something that already exists. That's important as well, right? The doctors and the mechanics and people of that nature, the architects. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm going to change. It's no longer going to be people just going into those fields because they feel like I'm going to make a lot of money here. No, you're going to get compensated because you really, really, really enjoy it. And now this is so far out the box. People aren't going to really catch this right away, because that's going to be like, wait, how is that possible? But it's already happening. How is Kevin Hart doing what he's doing? Why? He's being himself all day, right? How are some auto mechanics really, really, really good at their job? Shout out to Ray who fixed my Camaro. Dude just was like, yo, just pay for the parts. I just love working on it. There's people out there like that all over the place. There might be people who are super, who like, how do they improve upon the process of a light bulb? Because somebody's fascinated with it. And they're like, man, how can we make this better? They learn the design so thoroughly that they improve upon the process. Who created the plastic cup? Somebody was like, yo, I want a disposable cup. There was probably cups that weren't disposable. It was like, that was revolutionary. But then they was like, yo, I just want one that I can kind of just toss by the wayside. So they created this, right? There's so much, there's so many different things. Who created these blinds, right? The blinds, man. It's like, yo, I want to block the sun out. There's a place for everybody and everything, and you can be fascinated with so many different who created carpet, man? Somebody was like, "Yo, I want carpet." Like, what? There's so many different things, y'all. And what the program does is it helps you to really tap in, but you do have to be ridiculously consistent at it. You do. To really be able to tap in, you're gonna have to go through the program nonstop, 77 days without stopping. That's really difficult to do. That's really difficult to do. And it took me a while to be able to get to that point. But I'm telling you, if you're able to commit to it and decide, like, you know what, I'm eventually one day, I'm going to get through those 77 days without stopping. One of these times that I attempt, I'm going to get through the 77 days without stopping. It is going to change your life drastically. You're going to explode into positive change. I'm telling you, y'all, I have seen it. Your mind is going to expand, your awareness is going to expand, your interest, your presence in everything is going to expand. And then that's when you're going to be like, wait a minute, here's what I like doing, here's what I don't like doing. You're going to be able to isolate and identify everything that you want to do and everything that you don't want to do. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't take enough time to tap into ourselves to really define what is it I want? What is it I don't want? You do need both. And that's going to help you to because if you make a clear all the way left decision, you're gonna pretty much know, okay, well, if I really want all of this, then these are things that I don't want. You're gonna be able to make that distinction. Right? So really, really, really think about this, y'all. Consider this because it's again, I'm not this is I don't even care because I'm gonna be here for a minute. I'm gonna be doing this for until an extremely long time, simply because I'm like, this is how we need to start moving. This is the direction that we need to start going in because people need to. If an individual, instead of saying I'm gonna be a doctor because what they make six figures, that's not a good reason to be a doctor. You're supposed to be taking care of people. Now, if you say, I want to be a doctor because I love healing people, you're in a totally different ball game. And your practice and you specifically, everything you're doing in that space because you love it is going to be enhanced tenfold than somebody that's doing it just because they like, yo, I'm good at it and I like, the money that comes with it. They're not really gonna care about the people that are sick coming in there, and that's gonna translate to their work, and it does a lot of time. Y'all ever go somewhere and you're like, "Dang, what they working there for? Why are they working there?" Why? Because they feel obligated. Why? Because they feel like, "I have to. This is something I must do because I need this money." It ain't supposed to be that way, and that's what I said. That's what I thought 5 years ago. I was like, God, is there a way I can just get paid to be me? I do this. I don't just do this online. I do this when I'm talking to regular people. I get into a group of people and I'm talking about mindset topics. Like that's what I do. I remember way back when I used to drink, even when I was drinking, I would somehow stumble across some mindset topics. Like I'm like, yeah, I can talk about this all day. Cuz the human being and the human mind is so freaking fascinating to me. And this vessel and what I've been blessed with and everything that I've done to really push to see, yo, what am I capable of? What's the human capable of, man? And the certain stuff that I've seen, I'm like, yo, we can tap into some, yo, we got something here. We just got to really, really start paying more attention to it. But we got something inside of us that we really, really should be sharing with everybody. And once you're able to do that, y'all, it's automatic. It's automatic. Now, is it going to take time? Sure. It's going to take time because you're going to have to refine and master your skill and really be committed to it. and all of that is going to culminate into what is it? Like, this is inevitable, dude. It's inevitable. I'm not even tripping. I was for a minute. There's times where I'm up and down. Let me be honest. But for the most part, I'm here, right? I'm here. What? I took a couple days off. This is what's going on, but I'm right back. I'm about to be right back in stride now that I'm finally moved in. I'm trying to rearrange my room and all of that stuff. But outside of that, I'm like, oh yeah, we finna go live, Kev. It don't matter if it's 0 people online. I'm finna go live. I'm finna put this energy out here because this is what I want to do. This is what I like doing. This is what I do all day. I'm always diving into like, what does this mean? And and then the minds and no, that's what I do, right? On top of basketball and some other stuff that I really love. But yeah, really, really consider that, y'all, because I'm telling you, the more people we get on the same accord that really want to change the fabric of reality, the more we're gonna change it. That's just how it is. So I'm gonna trailblaze this. I'm gonna pioneer this idea, and I'm gonna run with it. And for those that want to join, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You just won't. You won't regret it because it's going to change reality for the better. 100%. I know this because if more people can get paid to do what they really like doing, everything will start to shift into a more progressive state, a more positive state. Because then people won't be so pissed that they got to work a job for money and then that causes all type of different negative vibrational thoughts, right? That's one of the foundational pieces of why things are the way they are now, because people be like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be at this job, I don't want to have to do this. But that's what this is about, y'all. So that's what I'm saying. So next week, I'll also mention this Thursday. Next week, open enrollment. Let's get it in, y'all. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. All right. Always remember, y'all, that mindset matters. All right. Mindset matters more than anything else. Mindset matters more than anything else, y'all. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Because that is very difficult to do, which is why I continuously tell you guys, along with myself, to do it all the time because it's hard to do. Focus on the good, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Anytime out.